Assalamu alaikum, Kashif. How are you? तो काशिफ का भी माइक नहीं चल रहा है क्या आज? काशिफ नहीं चल रहा लगता. Okay. And what I can see from the assignments is that only Harsha has submitted the assignment. Harsha, लेकिन इसका assignment है ये? For chemistry or something else?
Sir, I submitted the first 5.
So आपने first 5 submit किया है. Okay, okay, fine. This is from chapter 1, I guess, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ठीक है. Any doubt in these? Tell me, Harsha.
No, sir.
No doubt. Okay, fine. Acha. And Harsha, did you see the corrected copies of the test? Tell me. टेस्ट हुआ था, याद है आपको हर्षा?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
उससे मार्क्स मिले आपको?
Sir, I didn't see.
अच्छा, आपने नहीं देखा, मार्क्स मिले भी नहीं आपको? या फिर नहीं देखा?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम. अच्छा, लेट मी फॉरवर्ड दिस टू यू. ठीक है, आपने नहीं भेजा है ना?
Okay, sir.
सेंड दिस टू टीम. अच्छा, कृष्णा की से भेजना है ना? ठीक है. तो आपने काफी ज्यादा ना मिस्टेक, मतलब बहुत छोटे छोटे मिस्टेक आपने किए हैं. उनको एक बार प्लीज देख लीजिएगा, ध्यान रखिए उनका. ठीक है. Once you check the copy, you will understand what are the mistakes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. ठीक है. Okay, so Siddhika is also here. Hanuna can change their. Okay, wait a second. Let me see if they can change. Yeah, all of you can rename ना. Martin का तो ठीक है. Hanuna का Haya होगा, right? That is Haya, right? अब Abdullah Faraji, इन्होंने भी. Yasir, can you please ask your brother to join with audio? Yes, Haya, thank you. Afnan, Assalamu alaikum, Afnan. How are you? Afnan, am I audible or not audible? Start today's class. Thank you. यासिर अपने भाई से कहिए ऑडियो ज्वाइन करें. आई डोंट नो वेदर ही हैज ज्वाइंड टिल. ठीक है, थैंक यू आशिफ. So we were done till the magnetic quantum numbers, and magnetic quantum numbers we also saw. अच्छा, please let me know if someone was not present in the last class. That was on Sunday. अगर सब लोग मौजूद थे तो very good. If someone was not present, please let me know. Magnetic quantum number, and then S sub shall we have? Okay. Afnan was not there. Okay, just a second, Afnan. अफनान नहीं, ट्यूसडे वाली क्लास को नहीं. ट्यूसडे वाली जो क्लास थी वो तो एक्स्ट्रा क्लास थी चैप्टर नंबर 1 के लिए. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. ये क्या कह रहे हैं अब्दुल्ला? क्लास वाज ऑन ट्यूसडे. नो, नॉट दैट क्लास. अपना वेरी प्रेजेंट ऑन लास्ट संडे. ये अब्दुल्ला फराजी फिर से इन्होंने माइक ये कर लिया. Afnan, what happened to your mic? माइक का दिक्कत रहेगा, बड़ा मुश्किल है भाई। फिर आप लोग समझ लीजिए आप लोग क्लास में नहीं है, आप लोग जवाब भी नहीं दे रहे, माइक नहीं ठीक करा रहे, कैसे काम चलेगा? I was not there. When were you not present? Sunday? संडे आप थे या नहीं थे? संडे आप थे या नहीं थे, ये बताइए। थैंक यू वेरी मच। ओके, थैंक यू अफनान। चलिए, नाउ टेल मी अफनान। हाँ तो भाई काशिफ, आप कभी खाना खाने बैठिएगा या फिर पढ़ने बैठिएगा? खाना खा रहे हैं बोल रहे हैं, आई एम ईटिंग। यहाँ से समझाइए अपने भाई को। दूसरी चीज, एंड अफनान, another thing is that did you watch the recorded lecture, Afnan? Afnan, did you watch the recorded lecture? No. कैसे चलेगा? You had almost 5 days ना, राइट? 5 दिन थे आपके पास अफनान, आपने अभी तक रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर नहीं देखा, कैसे चलेगा काम ऐसे? थैंक यू वेरी मच अफनान। ठीक है, आज कोशिश करिए समझने की चीजों को, ठीक है, एंड देन कल से आपको और ज्यादा समझ में आएगा। बट अगेन, हाँ ठीक है, चलिए। सिंस इट इज सैटरडे, हम आपको अभी क्लास छोड़ने नहीं बोल रहे, बिकॉज सैटरडे वाली क्लास जो होगी अपलोड, वो होगी संडे को, है ना? सो इट डज नॉट मेक एनी सेंस। अगर आप ट्यूसडे और थर्सडे वाले बैच में रहते, देन आई वुड हैव आस्क्ड यू टू लीव द क्लास, और आप लास्ट लेक्चर देखिए। फिर ट्यूसडे वाला अपलोड होता है वेंसडे में, एंड देन वेंसडे को आप ट्यूसडे वाला लेक्चर देखते हैं, फिर आप थर्सडे के दिन क्लास अटेंड करने आते हैं, ठीक है? बट सिंस जो लेक्चर आज का है दैट विल बी अपलोडेड टुमारो ओनली, दैट इज आई एम नॉट आस्किंग टू लीव। आज थोड़ा कोशिश कीजिएगा अपना समझने की। एंड द अदर थिंग इज दैट योर माइक इज नॉट वर्किंग, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी अ बिग बैरियर, बिग बिग बैरियर, ठीक है? उसमें मुझे बहुत ज्यादा उलझन होगी ना, आप कितना टाइप कीजिएगा? यू कैन नॉट टॉक विथ मी ना इफ यू आर नॉट हैविंग द माइक करेक्ट। ओके, सो प्लीज गेट इट राइट। माइक खरीदिए, आपने लास्ट वीक भी कहा था शायद कि आप माइक खरीदेंगे। ओके, सो वेयर आर वी डन? हम लोगों ने कर लिया था मैग्नेटिक क्वांटम नंबर्स, राइट? वी आर डन विद मैग्नेटिक क्वांटम नंबर्स। उसमें उन्होंने आप लोग निकालता नंबर ऑफ ऑर्बिटल्स निकाल लिया था ना, बात तो यही रहा। मैग्नेटिक क्वांटम नंबर्स फॉर एस सबशेल, डी सबशेल, फॉर एफ सबशेल आप लोगों ने निकाल लिया, ठीक है? ओके, let us conclude with a few things. We saw that, okay, we saw that the first shell, we saw that the first shell, it has only S subshell, and the S subshell has only one orbital. How many orbital? It has only one orbital, and each orbital can hold only 2 electrons. That is why in the first shell you will have only 2 electrons. When we go to the second shell has two subshells. It has S subshell and the P subshell. The S subshell in turn, it has one orbital. The S subshell has one orbital, and the P subshell has 3 orbitals. When you combine these, you will get 4 orbitals. And each orbital will hold 2 electrons. That means you're going to have 8. Now, when you go to the third shell, then you will be having S subshell, the P subshell, and the D subshell. And the number of orbitals in the S subshell is 1. For P it is 3, and D it is 5 according to the magnetic quantum numbers. You can see the previous class. And if you add all of these, then you are going to get 5 plus 3, that is equal to 8 plus 1, 9 orbitals. And the 9 orbitals are going to hold how many electrons? Tell me, guys. 9 orbital will hold how many electrons?
18.
Yasser, it will be 18. Haya, am I audible? Okay. Haya, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Now tell me, in the fourth shell, what are we going to have? We are going to have S, the P, the D, and the F subshell. How many orbitals in the S subshell? Tell me, guys. In the S subshell, how many orbitals? Yes, Martin.
1, 3, 5, 7.
1,
1,
3,
3, 5, 7.
5 and 7. Okay. So how many orbitals in total? 7 plus 3, 10, and 5 plus 1, 6. So we are in total going to have 16 orbitals. And with 16 orbitals, how many electrons will be there?
32.
How many electrons? 32 electrons will be there. Okay. So please note this down. After this, we are going to write a few conclusions. Write a note. He's joining now. Please write. For a given value of n, what is n? Tell me, guys, what quantum number is n? Haya, बताएं, what is n? Haya, what is n? Baki guys, please answer on the chat. Haya, आप बताएं. Mic on करके, what is n? Which quantum number? Haya, which quantum number is n? Haya, you can flip your pages, Haya, and tell me which quantum number is n. It is denoted by lowercase n. Yes, correct, Kashif. Thank you very much. Harsha, correct. Very good. Haya, you have to turn your mic on. Haya, you have to turn your mic on. Assalamu alaikum, Nabiha. How are you? Nabiha, how are you? एक तो इतना लेट होता है बच्चे, बिल्कुल मेरा इतना दिमाग खराब होता है इस चीज से. You guys come late and then you are not even turning up. Haya, am I not audible to you? What happened? Okay, Haya is not answering. Nabiha is not answering. Martin, tell me n is which quantum number?
Principal.
Very good. Yasir and Kashif, please answer in chat. Yes, Yasir, correct. For a given value of n, please write next. Number of orbitals. Number of orbitals will be equal to. Can you tell me a relationship? Tell me, guys. This is the value of n. And look at the number of orbitals. What is the relationship? Tell me, guys. What is the relationship between the value of n?
Square.
Can all of you see that it is squared, right? What you will write? लिख लेंगे. It is equal to n square. Right, next. For a given value of n, number of electrons will be equal to, please listen very carefully what I'm asking. If the number of orbital is n square, what will be the number of electrons? If the number of orbital is n square, what will be the number of electron? What will be the number? अरे नहीं यहाँ से एक ऑर्बिटल में कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन आते हैं उसके लिहाज से आंसर कीजिए. आंसर, how many electrons can be there? How many electrons can be there in one orbital? And according to this information, please tell me, if I have n square orbital, then how many electrons will be present? Anyone?
So 2n square.
Yeah, very good. It will be 2 into n squared, right? We have n square orbital and each orbital will hold 2 electrons. That is right. It will be 2 into n squared. It will be 2 into n squared. Yes, समझ में आया? Yes or no? Please tell me. Yes, did you understand this? Yes or no? Right, next. For a given number of, sorry. For a given value of L, the azimuthal quantum number for a given value of L, please write number of orbitals. We have already written, I guess, number of orbitals is equal to 2L plus 1. 2 into L, and then plus 1. 2L plus 1. Right, next. For a given value of L, the number of electrons. काशिफ, आज आपका जवाब नहीं आ रहा. काशिफ खा रहे हैं अभी तक? क्या है, बिल्कुल आपके पेरेंट्स से बात करनी पड़ेगी. हैं क्लास के टाइम में खा रहे, पी रहे, माइक ऑन नहीं, क्या क्या हो रहा है? 2 times 2L plus 1. Copy this down quickly. Nabiha, since you have joined late, you have to take a screenshot of this. Please remind me at the end of the class, or you can take a screenshot. We can wait for 5 seconds, Nabiha. Nabiha, please take a screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I hope you have taken the screenshot. Then all of you can write this down. Please let me know if someone is still writing, or else we can write another conclusion. Please see here. I will write all the n. That means the principal quantum number. Then we will write the azimuthal quantum number, that is denoted by lowercase l. Then we will write all the magnetic quantum numbers that are denoted by what? That are denoted by m. Now, in the first shell, that means n is equal to 1, the azimuthal quantum number will be equal to 0. And this 0 is the 1s subshell. And this 1s subshell will have only one value of magnetic quantum number, that is equal to 0. Then next you are going to have n is equal to 2. When n is equal to 2, the L will be either 0 or 1. It will always be less than what? 0 to n minus 1. So 0 to 1. Now this 0 is 2s subshell. This 1 is the 2p subshell. The magnetic quantum number here for 2s will be again 0. For 2p, there will be 3, that is minus L2 plus L. That means minus 1 to plus 1. Minus 1, comma 0, and then you will have plus 1. This is the second shell. Now we have the third shell. The third shell will have the azimuthal quantum numbers 0, 1, and 2, just before 3. So this is 3s, this is 3p, and this is 3d. The 3s will have 0. Magnetic quantum number, the 3p will be having again minus 1, 0, comma plus 1. And this 2, that is equal to minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, and plus 2. Then in next, we are going to have the fourth shell. And in the fourth shell, we'll be having 0, 1, 2, and the 3 azimuthal quantum number. This 0 is for 4s. This 1 is for 4p. and this 2 is for 4D, and this 3 is for the 4F subshell. The 4 is will be again having 0 account. CV and in the last case we'll be having -3, and here also we'll be having the +3. Yes, so please write this down. I hope all of you understood this. What is these things? है ना? सब कुछ हमने पढ़ रखा है, वैसे चीज नहीं जो नहीं पढ़ी है. Let me know once you're done writing.
Done, sir.
Is anyone still writing? Please let me know.
Yeah, I'm writing, sir.
Okay, please write. चलिए, everyone done? Yes or no? Please tell me.
No, I'm doing, sir.
जल्दी लिखिए फिर. अच्छा, Martin, can you write if I stop sharing the screen? Yes, Martin.
Can I take a screenshot?
नहीं, वो नहीं बोल रहे हैं. Did you understand this, Martin? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yeah. 2S,
है ना?
2P. Yeah.
है ना, right? So this is 4 में से 0, 1, 2 and then 3. फिर इस 0 से 0, 1 से -1, 0 + 1, 2 से -2. So all of these are derived, right? Yes or no? Please tell me, Martin. है ना?
Yeah, I understood. 4 is
Understood ना? तो
4.
आप हाँ. So even if you don't write it now, you can complete it. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
है ना? ठीक है. तो try to complete it later on, because all of these things are derived. कुछ उसमें ऐसा calculation खास है नहीं. Then all of you will write the last quantum number, that is the spin quantum number. Please write spin quantum number. This is denoted by S, and please write the motion of electron around its own axis. The motion of electron around its own axis is called the spin of electron. The spin of electron. Right, next. There are two possible spins for electron. Okay, there are two possible spin values for electron. One is S can be either equal to +½ and for +½ we say that it is up spin, and we denote it as up arrow or half of up arrow. Both of these are fine. Half of up arrow. And S is equal to -½. This is down spin. And we denote it by the complete down arrow, or we can also use half down arrow like this. Can everyone yes or no please tell me? Is everyone done? Yes or no please tell me.
No, I'm doing so. Can you scroll up?
Please just scroll up. Please write it first.
Done, sir.
Okay. Everyone done now?
Yes, sir.
Good answer.
Sorry. Write a question. Which of the following sections have we done this question? Just a second. This just misses up. Because the following sections are not possible. Right, question number 1. TS 2F 1D 5P 7S 5 6 1P 2D 1. Okay. So tell me which one should I do, and then फिर आप लोग करेंगे. बताइए. एक हम आपको करके बताते हैं. I will show how to do these type of questions, and then you are going to do it. बताइए which one should I do? The one who answers first. Tell me guys. Which one should I do?
1D, the third one.
Third one. Let's see here, guys. So, what is the value of n here? Tell me. What is the value of n? In 1D, what is the value of n? N is equal to 1. Very good. What is the value of L when you have 1D?
3.
D.
How much?
D.
3.
D नहीं. L की वैल्यू क्या है?
D.
अरे L की वैल्यू D नहीं हो ही नहीं सकती है. L की वैल्यू देखिए कभी D लिखा है हमने? Look at the azimuthal quantum number, Martin.
S.
G. C. S corresponds to how much? What number is azimuthal quantum number? This is the name. And it has a number. What is the number corresponding to S? What is the number?
1S. 1S. Sorry.
देखिए नोट्स पढ़ नहीं रहे कुछ नहीं होगा. Notes, if you are not reading the notes, then you are not going to understand anything in the next class. भूल जाइएगा सारा. What about Siddhika? Tell me what is S? What is the number for S? Azimuthal quantum number for S? Tell me. Harsha, your answer was right.
0.
नहीं, हर्षा का भी आंसर सही नहीं था. S क्या है? 0. P क्या है?
1.
What's P? 1. What's D?
2.
2. What is F?
3.
All of you, did you remember this? Siddiqa, Harsha, Afnan, Yasir,
Yes, sir.
Kashif.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है? What is the value of L here? Tell me now. What is the value of L?
2.
2. Now, what is the criteria? N और L के बीच में relationship कैसा रहना चाहिए? N should be
Greater than L.
it should be always greater than L. Is this true in the third question? Tell me, in 1D, is this true or false?
False.
Is this true or false? Siddiqa, what happened?
True.
True. N is greater than L. Keep your mic on. Answer कीजिए सिद्दीका.
Yes, sir.
N की value क्या है सिद्दीका?
1.
1. And what is the value of L?
2.
So N is greater than L.
No, sir.
It's false, right? Are you writing now? Tell me.
Yes, sir. I'm
Sir,
writing.
नहीं लिखना नहीं है ना, हम क्यों समझा रहे हैं फिर बताइए. या तो आप लिखिए या तो समझिए. दो ही चीज हो सकती है ना, एक ही चीज हो सकती है, दो चीज तो नहीं हो सकती.
Yes, sir.
This is a warning for everyone who writes when I am not asking them to write. When I ask you to write, then you write. ठीक है? जैसे हम सवाल बनाने के लिए कहे तो आप लिखिएगा. ठीक है?
Okay.
When I'm explaining things, then you don't write. And whenever I start writing some notes, then I tell you guys, please write with me. And then I start writing. At that time, you have to write. Sometimes I will, when I not say ना कि please write with me, तो please वहाँ पे लिखना मत शुरू करिएगा. ठीक है? Because at that time I want you to answer me. So N is greater than L. Yes or no, Siddiqa?
No, sir.
In this case, it is not. So this is false. And if it is false, this criteria is not fulfilled. That means it is not possible. Got it? Yes or no? Please tell me. बाकी लोगों को आया कि नहीं आया? काशिफ, यासिर, अफनान, हर्षा, नबीहा, सिद्दीका. Tell me guys. Martin, आपको आया?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Got it? Okay. Everyone else? Afnan? Afnan got this? Yes or no? Afnan? This one you got na? And similarly, देखिए बहुत ही आसान है. Okay. See here, Afnan. Here you can get the value of N. And फिर यहाँ से आपको क्या पता चल जाएगा? You will get the value of L. Then you will check this criteria. N is greater than L or not. If N is not greater than L, then it is not possible. As simple as that. Please write this down. I'm going to give you guys कितना लेंगे? 5 मिनट. 5 मिनट में आराम से हो जाएगा. Please. You guys have 5 minutes and then you will send me answers on the Zoom chat. ऐसे लिखिएगा. 1 possible or not possible, P or NP. Okay, you will choose any one. Okay. Please start writing and solving the question. Okay, Muhammad Yasir is done. 2, 3. Okay. Harsha correct, Yasir correct. Very good. Okay, Afnan. So send me the answers. You can tell me which of the following are possible or not possible. ऐसे बता दीजिए कौन कौन सा not possible है. For example, 3, anything else. And everything else is possible, Afnan. काशिफ यहीं पे बता दीजिए. Tell me in the Zoom chat itself which of the following are possible, which of the following are not possible. Chef, yeah, correct. Yes, yes, very good, correct. Afnan, tell me at the end, ना जितना मुश्किल होता है ना चैट में, हम बोल रहा हूँ चैट में आधी आधी बातें. Siddhika is given the possible. ठीक है. और अफनान ने क्या दिया था? Afnan, tell me what is the value of n here? What is the value of n here? Tell me, Afnan. In the sixth question, tell me what is the value of. अरे कैसे चलेगा अफनान ऐसे? तो माइक ऑन नहीं है. सॉरी सर, आई जस्ट सॉ दैट. सिद्दीका करेक्ट, वेरी गुड. ठीक ठीक ठीक, कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन ध्यान से कीजिए ना. चलिए, अभी आपके पास और 1.5 मिनट है. यू हैव 1.5 minutes मोर. कीप ट्राइंग. Let me know once you're done, guys. You have 1 more minute, no, 30 seconds more. Time is up. Martin, correct. देखिए guys, n is equal to 3. Here L is equal to 0. So n is greater than L. तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? Possible. N is equal to 2. L is equal to F is 3. So here this is not. है ना? तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? Not possible. 2 is what? 2 is not greater than 3. 2 is not greater than 3. 5p में देखिए n is equal to 5. L is equal to 1. N is greater than 5. This is true. So this is possible. 7s. N is equal to 7. L is equal to 0. 7 is greater than 0. So this is possible. N is equal to 1. L is equal to 1. So here 1 is not greater than 1. It is equal, but it is not greater. That is why this is not equal to 1. And that is why this is not possible. Seventh one, 2D. N is equal to 2. L is equal to 2. Here also, you can see that these are not. 2 is not greater than 2. Not possible. N is equal to 1. L is equal to 3. Here also, this is not greater than 3. That is why this is not possible. So please see, you have 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8, which are not possible. Please stop here. Write this down. Those who have not written this down, please write this down. Afnan, you will let me know once you're done writing. Done. राइट नेक्स्ट लिखिएगा प्लीज, टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्बिटल। यू राइट नेक्स्ट, टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्बिटल। ठीक है, इन दिस यू राइट नंबर 1, the s orbital. Now please write with me, m for s orbital is equal to what? s subshell के लिए for s लिखिए, for s subshell the value of m, the magnetic quantum number is 0. Therefore s subshell has only one orbital, which is called the s orbital. Now, what is the shape of s orbital? We have seen this previously also. And you can write now once again that the shape of s orbital is spherical. It is what? It is spherical. Here you have x-axis, the y-axis, and this is the z-axis or the z-axis. You write next. S subshell is spherically symmetrical. Symmetrical. Right, next point. S subshell is non-directional. It is non-directional in nature. क्या मतलब है non-directional in nature? See, non-directional in nature को आप ऐसे समझ लीजिए that it is not biased toward any axis. क्या बोला हमने? It is not biased, B-I-A-S-E-D. It is not biased toward any of the axis. The S subshell is present in all of the axes in the same amount. And if you have electrons in the S subshell, then those electrons are not directed towards any one of the axes. They're present in all of the three axes, X, Y, and Z in the same amount. Is this clear? Yes or no? Please tell me. Non-direction का क्या मतलब हुआ? Not biased towards any one of the direction. Is this clear? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right, next, the p orbital. Right, next, the p orbital. क्या नंबरिंग कर रहे हैं? 1 2 कर रहे हैं क्या? ठीक है, 1 2 कर रहे हैं. The p orbital. Okay. Now, the value of m for p orbital is equal to what? It is equal to 3, and therefore p subshell, the p subshell has 3 orbitals. They are the px, the py, and the pz orbitals. क्या नाम है इनका? px, py और pz. Okay. Now, the shapes of these orbitals are quite easy. If the subshell is on x-axis, उसके lobes कहाँ पे हैं? the lobes of the subshell are on which axis? On the x axis. Then उनको बोलते हैं हम px orbital. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? This is, if this is x and this is y, या z कुछ भी हो सकता है. This is px. Similarly, if you have the py, then it is going to be like this. It will be on the y-axis. And if it is on the z, if you have the pz, then this will be on the z-axis or the z-axis. This is py, this is pz. Okay, so please see the px, then we have the py. उसको बीच में रख लीजिए pz. The value of m for px, pz and py. px के लिए प्लस और माइनस वन कुछ भी यूज किया जाता है. z के लिए 0 हमेशा. In general, we use 0 for the z axis, and py के लिए क्या यूज किया जाता है? It is also generally it is used as minus. लेकिन जब px को माइनस रख देंगे तब ये प्लस में यूज किया जाएगा. And it is 1. It is plus minus 1, 0. It is minus plus 1. If px is plus 1, then py will be minus 1. ठीक है? उतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी इसको आप याद कर लीजिए. Now, as you can see, the lobes of the p subshell. Please listen to me very carefully. Don't write now anything now. Please don't write anything now. As you can see, the lobes of the p subshell are oriented towards a particular direction. The px in the x direction, the py is on the y direction, and the pz is on the z axis. That is why you will see that p orbital has directional character. What we will say, or we can write it like this: p orbitals are directional in nature. Next point, since we have the 3 p orbitals, are they going to have the same energy? Yes. So please write all orbitals within the same subshell. Please write all orbitals within the same subshell, having similar shape, size, and energy, but they differ in the orientation of along axis. They differ in the orientation along axis is called degenerate orbitals. Degenerate orbitals. Next, लिखिएगा third one. You have the d orbitals. You have the d orbitals. Now, please write. ये समझ में आया ना सबको? ये बस एक definition है. As you can see, the p subshell and the d subshell, इसमें क्या है? You have more than one orbital, है ना? And when you have more than one orbital in the same subshell, then all of these orbitals will be having the same energy, but they will differ in the orientation along the axis. Some will be having electron density on the x-axis, the y-axis, or the z-axis. That's the only difference, and these orbitals are known as degenerate orbitals. Now, when we go on to the d orbitals, the d subshell have orbitals which can be classified into two different categories. There are the d orbitals which are known as the axial d orbitals. Axial d orbitals. And then you have the d orbitals which are known as non-axial d orbitals. Non-axial d orbitals. I hope by now all of you know what are lobes. As you can see, the p axis, the p subshell have two lobes, and these are oriented in the x, y, and the z axis. Similarly, the axial d orbitals, they will have the lobe along axis. Is right? Lobes lie along the axis. The non-axial d orbitals, in this case, the lobes will, is right? Lobes lie between the axes. Between the axes. And देखिए बहुत ही आसान है याद करना, how many axial and how many non-axial. Axial d orbital, axial d orbital, there are how many words? There are two words. ठीक है, there are two words, तो कितने orbital होंगे इस तरह के? There are two axial d orbitals. If you look at the non-axial d orbitals, here we have three words: non-axial d orbitals. So in this case, आप इस तरह याद रख लीजिएगा that there are going to be three non-axial d orbitals. ठीक है, कौन-कौन से? So first of all, we will look at the non-axial one. They are very easy to remember. ठीक है, please see. Please see, don't write anything. Please see, don't write anything. If I have the x and y axis, and the lobes are lying in between x and y, अब एक ही इस पत्ते से पूरा बनाना है ना? Please see, copy, paste, and then I have to flip this. Rotate, किसी भी डायरेक्शन में रोटेट करेंगे कुछ ना कुछ तो बन जाएगा, right? हाँ, एक बन गया. This will have four loops. And I think if I will take these two, copy and paste, then I will flip this once again. Flip vertically. ये बन गया. ठीक है? चलिए. So if I have along the x, y, then these orbitals are known as dxy. That means the lobes are between x and y. Similarly, next आप देखिए. If the lobes are lying along the y and z axis, then this will be named as dyz. And similarly, if the lobes are lying along the xz axis, between, sorry, not along, my bad, I'm saying along for so long. If it is lying between the x and z axis, then it will be known as dxz orbitals. Now, if I talk about the axial d orbitals, these are of two types. एक होता है dx square dash y square, and it is known as dx square minus y square. Okay, so the lobes are like this. Please see. One lobe here. The other lobe is here. This is the next lobe, and this is the fourth lobe. Now, this is on the x-axis and the y-axis, and this is known as dx square minus y square, or dx square dash y square. Generally, it is known as dx square minus y square. Next, we have the dz square or the dz square. Now, the dz square, it has a lobe along the z-axis. It has one lobe along the z-axis. And there is a there is a ring type of electron density that is along the x and y axis. And this is known as dz square. Please note this down. Write the name of each orbitals. Let me know once you're done. Please let me know once you are done.
So what are the axes for the last one and axial?
Oh, sorry. This is the z axis, है ना? अब ये आप y भी ले सकते हैं, x भी ले सकते हैं, because both of them are mutually perpendicular, right? This is the z axis. मान लीजिए आपके पास इस तरह से है. You can take this as y and this as x. बस ये याद रखिए that the big lobe is on the z axis.
Done, sir.
Everyone done? Yes or no? Please tell me. अब ये बताइए. What do you think the d orbitals are directional or non-directional? Tell me. The d orbitals are directional or non-directional?
Directional.
Yes, very good. Please write. D orbitals are directional in nature. Next point you will write. D subshell has 5 degenerate d orbitals. Next, we will write the heading. Concept of nodes and nodal plane. Concept of nodes and nodal plane. Concept of nodes and nodal plane. Please write. The point around the nucleus. Please write with me. The point around the nucleus. Around the nucleus. At which the probability of the radius of, sorry, at which the probability of finding an electron is 0 is called node. Right? Total number of nodes. Total number of nodes, it is equal to n minus 1. Okay? If you have been given a shell number, then the total number of nodes in a shell will be equal to how much? N minus 1. Now, there are two types of nodes. Is right. Nodes can be divided into two different types. The first type is radial or spherical node. Please write with me. Radial or spherical node. And the next one is known as angular nodes. And the next one is known as angular nodes. Now, as you can see, radial or spherical, all of these words, radial, क्या मतलब होता है radial का? It is talking about something about radius, right? So it is going to be length dependent, or we can say it is distance dependent. This is distance dependent. And angular से क्या पता चल रहा है? Angular से पता चल रहा है it is directional dependent. What it is dependent on? It is dependent on direction dependent. Is right? Direction dependent. Now the next thing is that when I say distance dependent, then it is dependent on what? It is dependent on the principal and the azimuthal quantum. Please write number of, or rather you can write radial node is equal to radial node. It is equal to how many radial nodes will be present? It will be equal to n minus L minus 1. And the number of angular nodes, this will be equal to the value of L. Whatever the value of L is, that will be the angular node. Value of L. We will first look in detail the spherical nodes, and then we will look at the angular nodes. Please write with me. The first subtopic here, analysis of spherical nodes. We will start with the first orbital, and the first orbital is which one? It is the 1s orbital. 1s orbital. If I look at 1s orbital, it is spherical in shape. It is spherical in shape, and it is going to have, it is around the nucleus, completely around the nucleus, and it does not have any node. As you can see, the value of the number of spherical nodes, we can write number of spherical nodes will be equal to n minus L minus 1. The value of n is equal to what? 1. The value of L is equal to, because it is S subshell, it is equal to 0, and minus 1, it is equal to 0. Just a second, guys. Right next with me, the 2s orbital. Now, the 2s orbital, it is also spherical in shape, but it is different than the 1s orbital. It looks something like this. Please see, this is the 2s orbital, and it has electron density here. And it has electron density here. Now, this part, as you can see, this does not have any electron density, and this will be vacant in the 2s orbital. And this is only one region, and this is the spherical node that is present. And it, as you can see, it is distance dependent, right? If you go from here to here, or upwards, or the right, or the downwards, you will get a node. This is the spherical node in the 2s orbital, and you can see number of spherical nodes will be equal to n minus L minus 1. The number is equal to what? N is equal to 2 minus 0 minus 1. This will be equal to 2. So number of spherical nodes is equal to 2. Similarly, in the 3s orbital, number of spherical nodes, it will be equal to n minus L minus 1. Here the principal quantum number is
Sir, it
3.
is
The
one,
value.
right? In
Oh,
2s.
my bad. Yeah, my bad. Thank you very much. 1. 3 minus 0 minus 1, and this will be equal to 2 spherical nodes. Here also, you will have inner, there will be 3s orbital, there will be a vacant space. Then again, you will have some electron density. This is electron density. Then again, you will have a vacant space. And then again, you will have some electron density. Okay. The diagrams are not very important, but I'm just showing you guys. So this is one spherical node, and this is the other spherical node. These two are the spherical nodes of the 3s orbital. Similarly, please see the next one, that is 2p. The 2p orbital. The 2p orbital, the number of spherical nodes will be equal to n minus L minus 1. The n is equal to 2 here, minus L. L is equal to 1, because the value of azimuthal quantum number for the p subshell, it is equal to 1 minus 1. This will be equal to 2 minus 2, which is equal to 0. This is equal to 0. And also you can see this is the p subshell, and it is completely having no orbitals. But if you look at the 3p orbital, the next orbital, then it is going to look something like this. इसमें पहले इसको erase कर लेते हैं. Then we will make one more. इसमें से भी इसको erase कर लेते हैं. ये काम करना बंद कर दिया मेरा. ये काम कर रहा है. What about my eraser? Eraser should work now. That is not working. क्या हो गया भाई? शायद कुछ काम कर जाए. Just a second. Just Bismillah. Yeah. Fine. Thank you for your patience, guys. This is the PP, and this is the node. This is 3P, the shape of 3P, and this is the node. But again, spherical nodes will be equal to n minus L minus 1, which will be equal to 3 minus 1 minus 1, which will be equal to 3 minus 2, which will be equal to 1. We'll have 1. Okay. I hope all of these are making sense now. Sixth में लिख लीजिए 3D orbital. 3D orbital. The spherical nodes will be equal to n minus L minus 1. N is equal to 3. L is equal to 2 minus 1, which will be equal to 0. 7. 3D के बाद क्या आ जाएगा 4D orbital. And spherical nodes will be equal to n minus L minus 1. N is equal to 4. L is equal to 2 minus 1. And 4 minus 3 will be equal to 1. Okay. So further आप इसी तरह से जाते रह सकते हैं and you will get the number of spherical nodes. The only aim was to show you guys what is spherical nodes and how it is distance dependent. How it is distance dependent because if this is my nucleus, if I go right side, then I will face a node at a particular distance. Similarly, if I go on the left side, I will face the node at the same distance. And that is why we say that it is distance dependent. All of you got this? Yes or no? Please tell me. About the nodes, yes or no? Please tell me, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right, next, analysis of angular node. Right, next, analysis of angular node. What color did I use here? Analysis के लिए green color, ना? Analysis of angular node. So number one, we have the s orbital. Now, in s orbital, what is the number of angular node? Angular node, it is equal to the value of L. What is the value of L for the s orbital? Please tell me, guys, quickly. What is the value of azimuthal quantum number for s?
0.
Very good. So number of angular nodes will be also equal to 0. Secondly, the p orbitals. Now, in the p orbitals, the number of angular nodes will be equal to what? It will be equal to, tell me, guys, how much? How many? What is the value of L for angular? What is the value of L for p?
1.
Value of L is equal to 1. We'll have one node, and let us look at that node. Where is that node present? In this case, you can take any of the p subshell or the p orbitals, but I am going to take the px for what? For easiness. P ले या कुछ और ले लो. P नहीं लेके एक काम करते हैं. Let us take the y. Okay, I am going to take the py. So py is going to be something like this. 3D में है, याद रखिएगा, it is in 3D. Now here we have the lobe on the y-axis and only on the y-axis. Only on the y-axis. This is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, and this is my z-axis. As you can see, the xz plane, this whole plane, one plane is what? This is the xz plane. This whole xz plane, ये पूरा जो plane है यहाँ पे कोई भी electron density नहीं है. It is only in the what? Y-axis. It is only on the y-axis. And this xz plane is the nodal plane. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा nodal plane? Please write. Nodal plane is equal to the xz. प्लीज ये ध्यान रखिएगा that it is going to be what? It is going to be a 3D structure. So जब हम यहाँ पे इस तरह से red draw कर रहे हैं, then I am drawing this red not on the blue. Blue तो ऊपर है, ठीक है? ये आपका ये जो एरिया है ना इतना, it is like this, ठीक है? Y इसके ऊपर है और Y इसके नीचे है. So I am talking about this xz plane. इस प्लेन की हम बात कर रहे हैं. इसके ऊपर और नीचे क्या है? Y है. इसके ऊपर और नीचे Y है, ठीक है? So this is the nodal plane, and that plane is what? And that plane is the xz plane. Is this understood? Yes or no? Please tell me, guys. जल्दी बताएं.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
ठीक है?
sir.
Now, py में क्या है? Nodal plane xz. And if I have px, then the nodal plane will be. बताइए कहाँ होगा nodal plane? py में if I have the py orbital, then the nodal plane is xz. px में कहाँ होगा? yz. Yes or no? py है
Yes.
और xz इधर है, ठीक है? So the lobe is present in the x-axis, तो nodal plane बाकी दो. Similarly, if I have the pz, then in this case the nodal plane will be. Tell me, guys, the nodal plane will be which one?
YX.
Yeah, xy, yx, है ना? xy, ठीक है? Got it, guys? Yes or no? Please tell me. अरे आया नहीं आया, जल्दी बताएं.
Yes,
आया
sir.
या नहीं आया? आया, ठीक है, चलिए. नेक्स्ट में मूव करते हैं, दैट इज द d orbitals. थर्ड वन. The d orbitals. Okay. So angular nodes will be equal to how much? It will be equal to the value of n. What is the value of n for d? What is the value of n for d? SPD power ranges. जल्दी बताएं. What is the oh my god, my bad. N नहीं, L. What is the value of L for d? My bad, guys. Sorry.
2.
What is the value? Yeah, it is equal to 2. तो यहाँ पे how many nodal planes? Tell me. कितने nodal plane होने चाहिए? How many nodal planes should be present in the d orbitals? How many?
2.
How? 2. Thank you very much. Now we will look at the axial and non-axial. तो पहले non-axial को देखते हैं. So in the non-axial plane, please see. X axis है, Y axis है. X axis के बीचों बीच X and Y में आपके पास लोब है. यहाँ भी X और Y में लोब है. Here also you have the X और Y लोब. यहाँ पे भी आपके पास X और Y में लोब. ठीक है? Understood this? Yes or no? Please tell me, guys. बात समझ में आ रही है, नहीं आ रही है?
Yes,
ठीक है?
sir.
We have the lobes in which axis? Not on axis. Rather, we have it between X and Y. है ना? So nodal plane, यानी कि हम ये कह सकते हैं. That means I can say that the xz plane will have nothing and the yz plane will have nothing. Because every lobe is present in which plane? XY plane. In which plane? In which plane, guys? It is present in which plane? यहाँ देखिए, ऐसे देखिए. It is present in XY plane. तो बच्चे आपके पास दो और प्लेन ना, एक XZ प्लेन बचा और एक YZ प्लेन बचा है. Yes or no, please tell me. There are three
Yes,
planes,
sir.
right? XY, you have YZ, and you have XZ plane. If you have the electron density on XY, तो YZ खाली है. अगर YZ में है तो XY खाली है. XY and XZ खाली है. If you have the electron density on XZ, then XY and YZ are vacant. Similarly, you can say that when you have the DXD, DYZ, इस केस में नोडल प्लेन will be XY and XZ. And when you have D, क्या बचा? XZ, then the nodal plane will be on XY and YZ. All of you understood this? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. नेक्स्ट अब देखते हैं, let us now look at the dx square minus y square. Dx square minus y square. In this case, we have the lobes on x-axis and the y-axis. Yes or no? Please tell me, guys. लोब कहाँ पे हमारे पास x-axis और y-axis में है. So which one will not have? What will be the nodal plane? Let me make this एक बार हमें. Let me get this photo from internet. Okay, इससे ज़्यादा समझ में आएगा आप लोगों को. I need the x square minus y square. No? ठीक है, लेट मी राइट क्या क्या लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे इन वाइट. This is y, this is x, and these are the lines. Similarly, this is the x-axis line. Baki, I think it is quite visible to you guys. ठीक है. Now, please see. I can cut this. I can cut these lobes with a knife that is passing like this. Yes or no? Tell me, guys. इस तरह से हमको एक plane मिलेगा. I will get a plane like this. When I cut from this, I will not get any electron density. Similarly, I can cut it in this angle also. If I go anywhere in these two planes, I will not get any electron density. Can all of you see that? Yes or no? Please tell me. Can all of you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. If I go in these two planes, then I will not be. जैसे चाकू है ना, चाकू एक प्लेन होता है, ठीक है ना? Because you can see that it is 2D. 2D होता है ना चाकू. A knife is what? It is 2D. एक प्लेन होता है, एक प्लेन. If you cut it with knife, you can understand it is a plane, है ना? जिन लोगों के मैथ से प्लेन को कट करना है ना, all of these things आप लोग पढ़िएगा मैथ्स में भी. Okay. Now that means these are the two planes. इसको कैसे लिखेंगे? Please write. The two nodal planes. The two nodal planes in dx square minus y square, dx square minus y square lie between the axes. Between the axes. One plane lies 45 degrees. Lies 45 degrees from. इसको ले रहे 45 डिग्री है ना. This will be 45 because this is 90. 90 का आधा क्या हो जाएगा? 45. 45 degrees from the positive x-axis and the other lies ये क्या हो जाएगा 90 90 के बाद 45 135 and the other lies 135 degrees from the positive x axis. छापिए right. Next dz square. So dz square के लिए is this is the shape of the dz square. ये होगा क्या ये just a second guys, let me see if I can paste this image or not. नहीं paste होगा, just a second, so I can take a screenshot. Okay. So you can see here that we have a big lobe on the z-axis, and there is a circular ring type of thing on the dxy, on the xy plane, and this is what, this is the nodal plane, जो कि एक conical structure बना रहा है. कैसा structure बना रहा है? This conical in 3D. This is also conical in 3D. So these are the two nodal planes of the dz square. Please make the structure like this. ऐसे draw कीजिएगा आप लोग. Okay, you will draw it something like this. ठीक है, you will write here now. The dz square orbital has no nodal plane, है ना? Plane तो नहीं है, nodal plane नहीं है, इसको conical nodes बोलते हैं. Has no nodal planes, rather it has two conical nodes. The two conical nodes. None everyone yes or no, please tell me.